This is awful. We need to start again.
Cancel. Cut that.
Cut.
Okay.
Right. Now that that's all out of the way, maybe we just start with hello.
Hello, and welcome to Creative Company Podcast with me, Becca Hall.
And me, Bryony Machin, where each month we will be here to keep you company with honest chats about freelance life,
creativity, and everything in between. Hi, Bryony.
Hello.
We have done it, finally, after a long time.
Who would have thought that we've actually made it? An hour later than planned, but still fine.
But also not just an hour later, also like suddenly I feel like we've been talking about things and then we kept saying, we should make a podcast. We should make a podcast.
Okay. Yeah. 6 months later, not an hour later.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
but we're
still
like, here.
Maybe we should make a podcast. So here it is, our podcast. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully we find enough to talk about, but I'm sure we will, as we are used to chatting to each other every single day about running a small business and life and everything else that goes alongside it.
Yeah, so the reason we thought it would be nice to do this podcast is because, we chat so much about, like, as you said, business and life, but how they kind of intertwine and everything. And also how it's so nice to be able to talk to somebody else that's working alone. And we thought how nice it might be for people that are also working alone to be able to listen along and feel like they're also in the studio and kind of hearing to our ups and our downs. You can write in, send messages, whatever, and we can all kind of chat together. It's the idea, right?
We're here to keep you company through those days in the studio when you just feel like, I don't know, it's just nice, isn't it, to just hear that other people are having the same problems or the same successes. I don't know. Just nice to be able to relate to what other people are going through.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when we chat anyway. It's just setting up a business on your own sometimes is a lonely place, isn't it? Or you just kind of feel like you've got no idea what's happening and whether it's right or wrong. So it is nice to just know what other people are going through.
And I love podcasts. Yeah, exactly. And I love podcasts and I love being able to just listen to chats because it does kind of take away that thing of you're just sitting alone. And music can be really nice, but I think chat is just like, I've always really enjoyed that when working.
Yeah. I much prefer a podcast. Like I used to always listen to music when I was driving or working or whatever. But now I just find music, I don't know whether it's like the change in the tempo or I don't know, I really struggle to now listen to music. I find that way more distracting and irritating. So I like a podcast to be on in the background, particularly when I'm driving as well, just to kind of feel like I'm listening to two people's conversation.
Yeah, that is the thing. It's being part of a conversation without actually being part of a conversation. And you feel like you then get to know people nice. I don't know, even though the people I listen to I'm never going to meet, but you just feel like you're part of that little world, which I think is really comforting.
We're probably going to be invited to the podcast awards and then
I reckon so. And then we'll meet all of the celebrities. We'll probably win the awards.
Probably. Best newcomer.
On this episode alone. Like they only made one podcast.
Just the intro. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
While you're ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we can top this. So goodbye, everyone. That's it. We'll see you next week. Next week? Oh, God, no, we won't.
No. Let's not commit to that straight away. No. We're here monthly.
Monthly, yes.
For now.
Yeah. And see how it goes and see if we can manage to fit it into our already literally bursting schedules. We just decided to add another thing to do. So that's great. But I think we need to actually introduce ourselves because there's going to be people that have stumbled across this and they're like, I don't know who these people are. And they're already going to the podcast award.
Well, get to know.
Who do they think they are?
Oh my God, I really hope people haven't just stumbled across this and are thinking, who on earth are these people?
Am I meant to know them? Are they celebrities? No.
No.
Sad, not yet. That was a joke.
Please don't take anything that we say seriously.
Yes. Please don't cancel us.
God, episode 1. Like, how long have we been going? We're already talking about being cancelled.
Yeah, perfect. 8
No,
minutes.
you introduce yourself. So,
Okay.
go.
Right. I got to be careful not to breathe into my mic. Sorry, guys, if you've been just hearing me like breathing down it. I'm Becca Hall. I'm an illustrator in Cornwall, originally from the Lake District. I illustrate children's books and maps, and I have a Patreon where I teach illustration and we do Zooms and stuff. What else do? I do other illustrated things. I sell giftware. I've been freelance for 11 years, which is pretty terrifying, with a little bit of part-time work at the beginning and then full hog freelance. And yeah, moved down to Cornwall in early 2020, right before we went into lockdown, and now have a little studio in my garden and living the life I love. That sounds so cheesy.
Yay! No, that's
So
so
that's
nice. I
me.
think that is a good summary.
Yes, thank you. All right, you go.
Oh, I don't know how to follow that. That was such a good summary. Did you practice that?
No.
You're such a pro.
But I've had to introduce myself on Zooms and stuff, so I think I've managed to
Okay.
get into the flow of it. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay, I'm Bryony. I am an artist based in Lancashire. I specialise in mosaic now. That's probably what people would say that I'm most known for. But I also do a little bit of design work, illustration. I designed my wallpaper, if you are watching this visually. What else do? I run workshops. I sell kits so people can get creative and make mosaics from home. I do some more kind of extra special retreat days every now and again in really beautiful venues. But mostly run workshops and work from my lovely little studio in Lancashire, which I moved into last year, and then before that I had a different studio. But yeah, I don't. Is there anything
Yeah,
else?
I think
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah. How did you say how long you've been going? Did I miss that
Oh
bit?
no, in July it'll be 9 years since I ran my first workshop. So yeah, probably been self-employed for 10 years now, which is crazy.
I know.
And same as you, did a little bit of a part-time job before trying to kind of go it alone. And definitely didn't go full-time self-employed at a point where I could financially kind of be full-time self-employed, but decided to make the leap to just kind of really focus on building the business that I knew that I wanted. And yeah, employment just wasn't really for me. So
Yeah, me neither.
decided to try and set up a business. Although at that point I really didn't know what it would look like. Like, did you have a definite idea of the business that you wanted, or has that kind of grown
Yeah,
with
so
you?
mine's really changed. So when I first started, I was like really wanting to become the new, not that she's done, but like the new Sophie Allport. So I
Mhm.
wanted to have like illustrated homeware
Yeah.
kind of being sold everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and to be able to have like warehouses where it's all distributed from. And I
Mhm.
wanted to be that kind of household name
Yeah.
of yeah, homeware. That was my vision. And I wasn't actually, it wasn't that I wasn't interested in books. It was that everyone on my illustration degree was doing children's books. And I was like, no, I'm going to do something different, because I think you can be different with illustration. You don't just have to fall down the books thing. But
Mhm.
then in 2018, I got commissioned to do my first book. I think it was 2018. And I really loved it. And then it just kind of started to snowball, and I was doing less and less giftware. And then I was actually like, I way prefer books because it's more like long work rather than just like
Yeah.
I've done an illustration and stuff. And I'm sure we'll talk about this in the future. The stress around buying stock, stocking it,
Yeah. Yeah.
sending it is like hard and it's really expensive. So it's quite
Yeah.
hard to get going with
It's
it.
more of a
And
process for you, isn't it? Rather than
yeah,
like the one-off of designing your illustrations for your book. And then
yeah,
once I know they take a lot longer to do, but once they're done, they're kind of out the door and then
yes,
someone else does the rest of the
yeah,
work with them. Whereas if you are illustrating products that then you are in charge of getting
yeah,
manufactured and storing and shipping, then that
yeah.
is a lot
And
different.
it's so hard, and like you never have the right stock of the item that sells the most, and then there's always minimum quantities, and you'll get people saying, can you do one mug with this design on? You're like, no, I have to order at least 50 of each design, and
Mhm.
and then you buy one that you think will be really popular and it doesn't sell a single one, and you're like, so there's a lot more turmoil, I think, with that. I'm not saying it's not good to do, but I get way more joy from the illustrating rather than the stock management side
Yeah.
of the products. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I've kind of it grew. So yeah, definitely didn't start like I'm not where I thought I was going to be at this stage.
Mhm. But I guess as well the other thing is like we're saying we've done it for 10 years. Like we've grown up, haven't we, doing
Yeah.
so you've when you change so much as a person as well, I guess what you like changes and what you wanna be doing with your life changes,
Mm,
and it's yeah, all
yeah.
very different.
But I like that you can grow and evolve your business. It's not just a straight line, like you will go in all different directions and stuff to get where you
Mhm.
end up being, and like where we are now might not be where we are going to be in another 10 years. We might be doing something
Mm,
completely different. Might go back to products.
you might maybe we should do an episode where we predict
That
where
would
we're
be
gonna
really
be,
good.
but
Yeah,
in
let's
maybe,
definitely
like,
do that.
5 years.
Yes.
I don't
10
know,
years
maybe this
feels too
podcast will
long.
still be going in 10
Yeah, and then we're
years.
like, "Well, time's up, and I'm still just here. Nothing's changed." I got a new desk chair, and that's it.
Yeah. No, but maybe, like, it won't even be us, maybe it'll be robot versions of us doing it. No, I
It'll
don't even wanna talk about
it'll
that,
be
that
AI.
terrifies
We
me.
just like, it just knows what we've been up to, so it just does it for us.
That's so scary.
That is
I
scary. Yeah,
hate anything
we can
AI,
always
like,
do an AI episode, as
I
in
think
we're
we
n
need to, yeah.
yeah, but about AI, not us as AI.
Yeah. No. No, but that is something, I guess, especially with your industry, that is definitely something that needs to be discussed at some point, isn't it?
Yeah. I think we need to also, because we've been chatting now for like 15 minutes,
Oh.
say what this podcast is gonna be about.
Mhm.
So we've introduced ourselves, and yeah, like so people know what to expect more, maybe.
Yeah, I think we have obviously been chatting now for, I don't know, 4 years?
Yeah, I
Something
think
like that?
so. Yeah.
And it started just, like, with the odd comment on Instagram, didn't it, or the odd DM, um, and developed into us chatting more frequently, more openly, um, voice notes,
Yeah.
kind of a lot about business-related things, especially to begin with,
Mm.
um, and yeah, I just found it was so nice to have somebody to talk to, especially somebody that is in a very similar position in life,
Yes.
um, age-wise, like, every single aspect of our lives
Yeah,
seem to
that's
be
so true.
exactly the same, don't
Yeah.
they? Down
Yeah.
to our partners not being the same.
Yeah, God, oh my God. That would be a bombshell. And we are both with
Oh. No, we have partners who are in the same industry.
Yeah, and
Um,
I have same, like, likes and things as well, like, they're quite
yeah,
similar.
yeah, they've lived in the exact same part of Australia as each other,
Yeah.
and everything just seems to be exactly the same. Um, I've just gone off on a right tangent. What was I
So
talking about?
we're
Oh,
really
so
alike.
yeah, and then we started chatting, more kind of. I might say to you, "Oh, I'm trying to find a insurance for such a thing.
Mm,
Have you got any recommendations?" So I think that's where we started to think maybe we should make these conversations more public because they might help somebody else who is in a similar situation, and just open the conversation up a little bit, I guess, to other people who want to chat about their small business, or
Yeah.
if they've got any questions, if they're just starting out. Hopefully, we're going to be able to cover lots of different topics that people are interested in, or maybe hadn't even thought about. And then there'll be a little bit of a sprinkle of everyday life thrown in there as well. We're both getting married this summer, so I'm sure that'll
Woo!
feature a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
what
and like
else.
we're kind of thinking, so we're gonna start by, as we mentioned before, releasing it monthly, and chat about like our month that we've just had, and maybe a bit about the month ahead and our highs and lows of the month, because I think Instagram in particular, it's all about the highs a lot, isn't it? You kind of share
Yeah.
all the good, but it's nice to be able to
Mhm.
chat about the hard things, even if it's like a life hard thing that's affected your
Mhm.
work or anything like that. And then, yeah, like each month, chat about a different topic and hopefully have questions sent in from you guys on that topic that we can answer. So
Yeah.
it might be useful, but also hopefully just also nice chatter for the background as well for people.
Yeah. And sometimes an Instagram caption isn't enough, is it, to kind of
No.
explain what's happening or stories or whatever. It's you just feel like you're only given a very small insight or like a snapshot where and then like sometimes I won't discuss certain things because I feel like it needs a longer post or
Mm,
to be discussed more in depth. So hopefully this gives a bit more of a platform to speak
yeah.
more in depth, more openly,
Yeah.
um, and
And
yeah,
like
just answer.
there wasn't, I mean, podcasts I know have been going for ages, but I feel like when we both started, it wasn't nearly like as big thing as it is now. Um, and so I feel like I would have so valued like being able to listen to other
Mm,
creatives and like, yeah, their journeys and their ups and downs, because you can feel like you're going wrong, or like you can constantly question, am I doing this right, or should I be finding this hard, or whatever. And I think to be able to
mhm,
hear other people chat about it is so useful,
yeah,
um, and comforting.
definitely,
The comforting
definitely.
podcast, the comforting creative podcast.
If anyone has any suggestions
Yes.
of what we can call ourselves, because this I think this has actually been a sticking point to starting, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, trying to come up with we've both got businesses that are our names because we
Yeah.
are that
Yeah.
unoriginal. When I first started, I remember sitting with a notepad, writing out so many ideas for business names for
Yeah.
ages, and I just couldn't think of anything, and then in the end, I was like, "I'm just gonna call it Briny Machin."
Yeah. I think it's like the easiest way to do, but we can't just have a podcast called Bryony Machin and Becca Hall. It's doesn't doesn't ring a bell really. It's not like exciting in that sense. So for
No.
those of you listening, if there's been a jingle at the beginning, it's because we suddenly had a spark and thought of one. And if it's literally
Yeah.
called the podcast with no name,
Or the Bridie and Becca
or the
podcast.
Bridie Becca podcast, it's because we literally are struggling. It's the hardest thing, 'cause also you want it to have longevity, and that's really
Mhm.
difficult. Don't want to get sick of it.
No. And I get the ick so much with so many things that I don't
Yeah.
wanna come up with something that then in 2 months' time, I'm like, "Oh god, that's awful."
Well, we were suggested one, weren't we? Which
Mhm.
we both fell in love with. Suggested on Instagram, um, two bees in a pod, and we were like, "Yes, that's it. That's fun." And we could already imagine like a little
Little logo.
illustration. We could embroider onto t-shirts. We were literally like, "Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes."
yeah, we were sorted.
Yeah, and then we had a quick Google. Well, Ben, my partner, said, "Have you checked to see if it exists?" And there's a massive list of podcasts called Two Bees in a Pod. And we thought, oh, we can't be another one. You want to have something different. So back to the drawing board we are, and trying to rethink it.
I know, we really should have checked that before we got so carried
I
away,
know. I
but
know.
never mind. I think that's the story of my life, getting carried away with things before.
Well, what's funny is I checked all other names that I thought I quite liked, but for some
Mhm.
reason didn't check that one because I was like, no, that'll be fine.
It's so original.
So
No one is
original.
ever but thank you to the person who did suggest that, because
Yes, it
someone
was
did come up
great.
with that, didn't they?
Yeah,
And
and it
yeah,
was
we
really good,
loved
and
it.
we were
So you
literally
won.
gonna do it. We'd already talked about how we were going to gift that person something. It's for coming up
Mhm,
with our name, and
mhm.
then it all crashed. Crashed down.
Never mind. We'll come up with something that will be
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
And if we don't, that's fine too.
Yes. Hi, it's me, Becca. Just a quick note to say, hooray! We found a name after lots of debate, chats, and suggestions. We finally came up with our name and we are thrilled with it. And I hope you like it too. Okay, on with the podcast. So, shall we talk, like, just as this is a kind of a first introductory podcast, should we just talk a little bit about something? What's coming up? Uh,
Something. Well,
we're
I
not going to do a
guess
topic this month because we're going to put out a topic for next month, aren't we? So we're going to
yeah,
ask people
yes.
to,
So each month there will be a topic that we would like people to kind of get involved and tell us what they would like us to discuss. So it might be social media, or it might be going full time, opening a studio, workshops, Patreon, like
yeah,
there's so many different
schedules.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah. And because me and you, we're in the same kind of position, but we do very different
yeah,
work and have quite different modules to our businesses.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, hopefully
So,
we can offer something valuable.
yes. So, what we'll do is we'll put it all out on our Instagrams as well, but each month we'll say what the topic's going to be for the next month. So, you can write in. We will have an email once we know our name, and I'll make sure that's put in the like little bit of info below, and we'll put it on our gram as well so that you can send in any questions so that we can answer in the next month, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we won't do a topic this time. I think we just have a little chat about life and then announce next month's topic.
yeah. Not that we've
Okay.
thought of one yet. Oh, she's got a
No, I haven't.
plan.
I was like,
Oh.
I was like, no, I know, but we can come up with one.
Yeah, I think the first one we should be able to come up with quite easily. It's going to be
Yes.
like a year later, we
And we're
might
like,
start struggling for ideas.
and we'll just do everything version 2. Social
Yeah.
media
Well,
a
things
year on.
change constantly, so
They
it's fine.
do. Yeah, they do.
Well, tell me about what's going on with you. I know you've got a very exciting month coming up.
Yes. I just
Um,
had my hen last week, which is
mhm.
mental. Went to Canterbury and did some wine tasting, went punting. I've never been punting before on the boats.
Nice.
I didn't know what that was until we were on it. But
Okay.
that was really fun. Had a lovely time. I come back and yeah, then next month I'm getting married, which is very
Woo
exciting.
woo.
Very, very exciting. So it's all kind of like stress life at the moment. I was feeling overly confident about how cool I was about planning a
Okay.
wedding. And now everything is kind of come at once. And like
Okay.
every waking moment is either working or doing wedding stuff.
Mhm.
And I also, being an illustrator, decided I had to illustrate all my own wedding stationery, which I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed, but it's stressful because
I
it's
was going to
like,
say, have you felt like an extra level of pressure?
yes, because I know
Yeah.
everyone will be looking at it going, Becca's designed this. So it's like having everyone at your wedding almost judging that. But then people have said to me, no, they'll love it. They won't know, like any imperfections you see, they won't see and stuff. But
Oh,
when
no. And you have given me a little sneak peek, and it is beautiful. It's
thank
just
you.
so nice, and it's so perfect for you and your day, and it's just such a nice like memento of the day as well, isn't it? That you're
Yeah.
going to have that and you've designed it. And
Yeah.
but no, I
I
know what you mean, because I am currently also trying to design my own invites because I'm getting married in August.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Um and yeah, I've just gone back and forth so much that actually I don't like I'm getting married in 3 months and no one's actually even had an invite. Yeah.
Thank God. I've been waiting.
Yeah,
Patiently
sorry.
waiting.
I thought I'd save it until now to tell you. You didn't make the cut.
Oh.
Isn't it funny though that like 4 years ago were just like commenting on each other's Instagram
I
posts, and now here
know.
we are chatting
And going to each other's
about each
weddings.
other's
I
weddings. I'm about to
know.
make something for you for your
Yes.
wedding.
So
You
exciting.
are contributing to my wedding.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
It is. But I think the thing, just sorry, going back to wedding stationery, is like,
Mhm.
and I hope this comes across right. Being an illustrator, I could illustrate anything for the stationery. So it's hard to know what. I think it's
Yeah,
easier when you're not the client because you can be like, you just get told what
yeah.
that person wants or whatever. And I don't actually do wedding stationery because I did it once when I first finished uni and was scarred by it.
Oh, no.
And so people have asked me since, and I don't do it apart from a family member's wedding. But yeah, when you can do anything, it's almost like, but what do I want to do? And you look on Pinterest for loads of inspiration of like what people do as wedding stationery. But it's
Yeah.
just really hard to pick. And then I kind of would start doing something and be like, I'm already sick of this. So I'd start
I
like a
found
different,
exactly the same.
yeah,
Like, just overwhelmed by the options, what vibe you wanna go for.
yeah.
Just yeah.
And my initial one was way too children's booky. I was like putting in all these little
Okay.
spot illustrations of like crabs and stuff everywhere because I thought that would be really cute. But then it felt
Crabs.
like crabs, seagulls, boats. And there is a little bit of that in it, but I brought it way back because it did look more, it would be adorable for a kid's birthday party, but a wedding, you're like,
Yeah.
it's just not weddingy enough.
We should say you are having a Cornish wedding, that's why
I'm
there's
having a
crabs and
Cornish
seagulls
wedding.
and boats.
Yes. Yes, sorry, yeah. I am having a Cornish wedding. And so I wanted to bring the coast into it.
Mhm.
But it's, yeah, doing it in like a weddingy way, which I'm not used
Yeah.
to because I don't do wedding stationery. So it's not as if I've got this like bank of stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what you do for wedding stationery. Also turns out there is a heap of wedding stationery. I thought that like you do your invites and then you do your like order of service. Just bashed my mic as I was like miming this order of service book of like what the ceremony, like what's in the ceremony. But then you
Mhm.
think about it and you're doing table names, like place names, the table like a plan, the order of the plan of the day. You're doing all little things like we're having a photographer, but we're using a photo app as well that people can
Mhm.
like use. So you want to decorate, like make a thing
Yeah.
for that. A guest book, you want to have like little signs for your guest book, like we're doing like a photo guest book thing, and there's just so many bits, like cheese labels. There's so many bits.
It's
I'm
when you
like,
care about every little detail as well,
yeah,
because you are such a, like, person that your attention to detail, and you want everything to be, like, perfect and
and I want it to
handmade and
flow. I don't want to just do some
mhm.
stationery and then like the menus are just kind of like a Google Doc printed out.
Mhm. Yeah.
You want it all to flow, and then yeah, it's mad. And I know it will be so special afterwards, and I have enjoyed it, but when
Yeah.
you're also trying to illustrate 3 books and everything at the same time, it gets quite a lot.
Yeah. Are you winding down with work now as you're coming up to the wedding, or are you, like, working right up until it?
I'm working up until the week before, and I'm having a week and a bit off. Annoyingly, I kind of told my agents that I'd be back like on the Monday after my wedding, and then was like, why did I do that? Why have I not given people
Mhm.
time, like given it a bit more time? But I think I should be able to at least eke out another couple of days. So I have kind of 10 days off total. Um,
Okay.
but yeah,
Okay.
yeah. How about you? Have you got time? Like, have you blocked off time?
Oh, yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna have weeks. I won't at the moment, that's what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, I don't know, because it's August, I tend to have a bit of a quieter month for workshops anyway.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'm about to start planning my next kind of 6 months. Um, so yeah, I am not too sure yet, but I'll probably have at least 2 weeks before, just because there is so much that I want to make. We
Yeah,
are
of
only actually having
course.
quite a small wedding. Um, I think we're having quite a different, like,
Our weddings are
vibe,
different,
aren't
very
we?
different, which
Yeah.
I really like as well. I think that's cool.
Um, so yeah, probably a couple of weeks before, hopefully, and then we're having a couple of weeks afterwards.
Nice.
Um,
Oh, that'll be lush
but yeah,
for a little mini moon.
little mini moon before the main moon.
Yes, I really want to squeeze in a mini moon. And I think I could do it. I think I could work out a little bit, but then Ben keeps getting shoots in, and I'm like, when's my mini moon happening? So we
Maybe
need
me
to.
and you could go on a post and pre-wedding.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
good.
so then you get my mini moon, then you get your own mini moon, and then honeymoon.
Exactly.
That's
That's
ideal.
fine.
Do you want to come on
I'm
our
having a
honeymoon as
small
well?
wedding. Well, I should have been in America this week, shouldn't I?
I
I should have been
know.
doing your
Honeymoon.
honeymoon
You were meant to
road
be
trip.
going to like do a little recce and tell me all the
I
spots.
know, I know. It's been really weird this week because I was supposed to be going to California last week for 3 weeks to run workshops. And then because I ended up cancelling that so last minute, I've kind of
Mm.
got 3 weeks here where I've not got any workshops planned.
Right.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
which has
Yeah.
been actually really nice because the 6 weeks before was crazy. Like back to back workshops and
You
other
burnt
things
out,
that I
didn't
was trying
you?
to do. Oh yeah, definitely did. Um, but I did my interview. I didn't tell you. I did my interviews for my new assistant on
Yes.
Friday. Um,
That's exciting. How
which
did
is
that go?
crazy. So yeah, I feel like this podcast is starting at the same time that there's a lot of changes happening
Ooh.
within BM.
Yeah. The MBM.
um, so at the beginning of the month, I turned myself into a limited company. So I've been trying to do loads of admin jobs that have just kind of come with that.
Mm.
And yeah, I think I've been probably talking about having to hire someone, haven't I, for the last like
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And I always get messages on Instagram like, please get some help. I'm worried about you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I can do it myself. But I just can't do it myself anymore.
Yeah.
So I advertised for a studio assistant a few weeks ago. And yeah, I didn't know what to expect really in terms of response, but I got
Mm.
quite a few applications, which was nice.
That's really
And then
exciting.
I interviewed 5 people on Thursday and Friday.
Wow. All on Zoom
Um,
or in person?
no, in person. Well, I think I was more scared. I feel like, the episode of Friends. Sorry, I will reference Friends a lot. Where Rachel's interviewing for an assistant, and then at the end, she's
Yes.
like, "How did I do?"
Yes.
I felt like that's what I was like. But I just thought it's so hard, isn't it, to know what a person's like from a CV or
Yeah.
an email. So I thought I'd just invite people in for a very I say interview, it was just a chat. Like
Yeah.
I didn't sit there and say, what are your strengths and weaknesses and where do you see yourself in 5 years'
I was going to
time?
say, is it like an apprentice thing where you then invite 4 of them back next week and then 3 of them the following week and you keep having different rounds of
It'd have
interviews?
been good content.
It would have been. Have you picked someone or is it down to like a couple where you
Oh,
are
it's so
deciding?
hard because I really I like them all. Can I just have 5 and I won't work and they can
Yeah.
do a day each? Um, no, I said I would let them know this week or like today or tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. So you think you
Um,
know?
I think so, but it is really hard because I feel like everybody had something different to offer, so
Mm,
it's kind of figuring out what it is that I actually need and what's going to be most useful to me now.
yeah.
because it's really scary taking on the first person, because it
Yeah.
obviously, like, it's another financial commitment.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm hoping it just gives me more time. So it's not to, like, give me time off. I'm not hiring so that I can have a day off or whatever.
No.
I want to be able to have more time to be creative and to focus on the creative side, because I'm sure you find the same, that you've got a creative job, but probably 10% of your time is actually taken doing something creative,
Yeah.
or creative just for you, and you kind of lose that, um almost like the hobby fun side of it,
Yeah.
because you feel like you should be working on the work side of it all of the
Yeah.
time, but then you're not developing your creative side as much.
Yeah. Totally.
Um, and then if I am just making something, and like, obviously with mosaic, it's a long process, so it takes me a long time to just do something from start to finish.
Mm.
So if I'm working on something, I always feel really guilty that I'm focusing on, because I will then hyper focus on that, and I am making that mosaic for the next 12 hours, and I won't do anything else. I can't really split my day into, well, I'll do an hour of that, and then I'll do that, and then I'll do that. I'm
Yeah.
like all or nothing. Um, so I always feel really guilty if I'm just doing something creative for a certain amount of time, because it means that admin's not getting done or
Mm.
whatever. So I'm just hoping that someone else can come and do all of the kit prep and workshop prep, admin, studio jobs, and then I can stay at home
Yeah.
and be creative. But
Yeah.
we will see.
I
Yeah,
think that's going to be
exciting.
great. Yeah. I feel like I think I've probably I've kind of made changes in my business over the last few years, and just simple things like getting an accountant. So
Mhm.
I do like my weekly, I'll do like bits of my accounting and stuff, um, and like bank reconciliation stuff. But then my accountant will do like all of the actual things. Like I'm also limited and VAT registered. So he'll do like all the stuff that surrounds that. If I have any questions, I can ask him, and it's not just a thing of me going like, I don't know what I'm doing. And
Mhm.
then when what year? Maybe 2022, I kind of hired on like a job basis rather than like a once a week type basis. A lovely lady who packs all my greetings cards, because my cards come flat and they need to be folded with
Yeah.
an envelope in and into a sleeve. And it was taking me
Yeah.
hours to pack like, 1,000 cards at a time. And I was like, this is literally ruining my life, like of
Mhm.
creativity. So then I hire her to do that, and she lives locally, and also getting an agent, because then they do the like job stuff for me. So I'm slowly getting more and more into being able to do more creative in
Yeah.
my time rather than
Yeah, you're
like
like outsourcing jobs rather than hiring on like a
yes, yeah,
permanent
exactly.
basis. Yeah,
Yeah. And so I don't
that
have
is
to
good.
kind of go out and be like, right, I've got to try and see if anyone needs an illustrator, because I've got my agents doing that, and I've got
Yeah.
yeah, it's so that's really helped me, because I don't have like a physical shop or something that needs to be managed like you
Mhm.
do. And so I think it's going to be a game changer for you. I think you're going to be like, yes, I have some
Hopefully.
creative time.
Yeah, and an agent's a good idea. Like, I keep thinking, because I do a little bit of social media. I didn't say that in my introduction. Every now
Yes.
and again, I'll work with brands to do like some social media content, and paid collaborations and things as well, which has been a massive help.
Mm.
And I've really enjoyed it, actually. But that's another thing, because I am so bad at trying to get work, or like selling myself, or I don't know. You need somebody to do that for you, really, don't you?
Yeah.
That then
Yeah.
they can fight on your behalf,
Yeah. It's a lot
because
easier.
I'm
And then
useless at that.
yeah, I think it's a lot easier for not to put down agents' jobs in any way, because they work so hard, but it's a lot easier when it's not you. So they could say, "Oh, look, Bryony has a minimum that she works for, or she can't."
Mhm.
It's easier to talk about somebody else than to say, "Please, can I have more money?" That's really
Yeah.
hard to say. Whereas being
Well,
that
and they
middle
also
person,
know what's an expected amount.
Yes.
Whereas I really, like, when I first got my first email saying, "Can you let us know your rates?" I was like, "Oh, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
£5?"
Yeah. But also, like, the rates are different depending on the client and everything. It's
Mhm.
Yeah, I've learnt a lot through my agent because there'll be somewhere I'm like, "Oh, is that it?" And they're like, "Yeah, for this kind of project, it's not very much." But then there'll be other ones where I'm like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah. And then
So,
there's certain ones, isn't it, that you're happy to work for a little bit less money because it's
yeah,
something that you really want to do,
yeah,
um, and that you're really passionate about. So it's like
yeah.
picking and choosing the jobs according to that as well.
Well, I'm sure we can have a whole episode on agents
Yeah,
and all that. That'll
definitely.
be very fun. I think we need to tie it up and put out there next month's topic so people can send in their questions. Okay, so next month's topic is going to be about being a full time creative. So if you've got any questions, do send them in. Again, there will be an email and things below because we can't set anything up until we have a name.
And make sure you follow us both on social media because we will also
Yes.
pop it all on there so you can send your questions to there as well if you want to. I am at Bryony Machin.
And I'm at Becca Hall Illustration. A lot of L's in there, but you'll find it. Yeah, so we'll be popping it on our stories and stuff. But if you haven't seen it on your story, but you're listening to this in time, so we're recording this in April. The next one will be in May. So you can always just send us a message and say, I haven't seen your stories, but I've got a question based on your podcast. And we'll jot it down and we'll answer as many as we can next month, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, me too. And if anybody has any suggestions of what you would like to talk about
Yeah.
in the future, then also please get in touch about that because that would be a great help to know what it is that you want us to cover, whether it's work related, travel related, home
Yes.
life, like whatever it might be.
Anything. And also, finally, as everyone always says on podcasts, and now we're doing it, please don't forget to like and subscribe because I know this one has been a bit haphazard, but we are going to get there into the rhythm and we would love you guys to join along. So please do subscribe and so you get notified about each episode that comes out. And we plan to do some bonus ones as well along the way. So there will hopefully be more than just one a month.
I'm gonna go now because my stomach's rumbling so much. And you're
We
definitely
need
gonna
some
hear
food. We need
it.
some food. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for listening and making it to the end of the episode. Hopefully you haven't just shut it off and gone, oh no, that is a no. And we'll look forward to chatting next time. Thanks so
Yeah.
much, Bryony.
Thank you. See you
See
soon.
you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.